In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, taking a little bit more of a long-range look at why we expect major storminess to prevail not only for the next 10 days, but also well into the midpoint of July at least. And I know what you're probably thinking, well, that's quite normal, isn't it? I mean, June, July is usually the stormiest time of year, but we're talking about numbers that are above what is typical even for this time of year. So we're talking about even more activity than what would be considered to be climate normal. So let's just move through the upcoming pattern. Let's take a look first off at our GFS, or better yet, our European model for tomorrow afternoon. And we can already see our first little round of thunderstorms moving in. We see for areas in Missouri, Arkansas, the Ohio Valley, a lot of the Gulf states as well. The Great Lakes here are dealing with some thunderstorms, kind of lagging behind a 1,004 millibar low pressure center. Keep in mind that even if I don't mention your area, with the temperatures and with the humidity that we have this time of year, there might be some storminess outside of the times that I mentioned as well. So that is definitely a possibility that we might not point it out, but it might end up happening. For instance, I mean, we had overall a general thunderstorm risk of thunderstorms here, but we experienced quite a few very, very intense thunderstorms yesterday here in Virginia, but that wasn't necessarily modeled in. So you can see kind of unexpected thunderstorms when we have such high temperatures and humidity. Keep that in mind. As we take a look at Thursday here on June 27th, we see some thunderstorms prevailing here for the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, the Southeast here, all dealing with thunderstorm activity up and down that area along the East Coast, and then from the Northwest back down through the Four Corner states, elongating kind of into some of the plains and Midwest here. We are seeing some showers and thunderstorms around. There is a strong low over Wyoming, and this is allowing for a lot of precipitation to take place out in these western parts. As we take a look at Friday here on June 28th, we are seeing again showers and thunderstorms throughout these northern regions of the Rockies, the plains here, the Midwest. We're seeing a lot of thunderstorms and showers. The Gulf states up through the southeast here, we're seeing a lot of this, so definitely something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at Saturday here on June 29th, and what we see is, again, showers and thunderstorms now a little bit more widespread in a larger area, as you can see, from the north central states like the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, back southward through some of the southern plains and even the southern Four Corner states here, all of the Gulf Coast there, and then up and down that eastern area, we all are experiencing a chance of showers and thunderstorms for the day on Saturday. So a very stormy one if you're in the eastern half of the nation. And also with it, kind of warmer and more humid here for the weekend than we're going to be seeing for a lot of Thursday and Friday. So Saturday, Sunday might be a little bit hotter here. By the time we look at Sunday here, we see that there is a cold front finally kind of arriving for later on that afternoon. And we see with it a lot of thunderstorms around again for the Gulf states, up the East Coast here, back through some of the south central and southern Four Corner states as well here. Very, very intense look there for Sunday. Here's Monday on July 1st, and again, a lot of the southeast here is dealing with some thunderstorms. We see back west, we're dealing with thunderstorms and showers here for the Rockies, Four Corner states, northern plains as well here. By Tuesday here on July 2nd, we see that there is a very strong low for south central Canada, and this is leading towards some potential pockets of thunderstorms and showers even for the northern United States. Definitely for southern Canada, this is a active pattern with that extremely strong low that is there. Again, the southeast is known for their oppressive humidity, and we are seeing that kind of continue for this area. We're dealing with a lot of thunderstorms as a result of that, showers, and that should be expected to be the norm here for quite a while. Here's Wednesday on July 3rd, and again, we have the Four Corner states in here through the plains, dealing with some thunderstorms. Southeast still dealing with it, and even up through the northeast here. Let's keep going, and as we reach towards Thursday on the 4th of July here, we see, we're going to be talking about a 4th of July forecast very soon. Potential thunderstorms for the central and southern Rockies through the central and southern plains, through kind of the Midwest here in Ohio Valley is definitely going to be a threat. Also, the Gulf states and Southeast cannot rule out thunderstorms, as we mentioned. This is going to be a daily potential risk, so something that we certainly need to watch for as we move probably towards about the kind of final couple of days here of June into maybe, let's say, July 1st. we will have a lot more insight as to what July 4th will look like weather-wise for you guys. Now, as we just dive into the total precipitation here, as you can see, we do have large amounts expected across mostly the northern portions of the United States. I'd say something like this is the majority of what we're seeing. We do have a couple of low pressure systems moving in through the southwestern regions of Canada or the northwestern regions of the United States, kind of moving southward here. Where it's pretty broad low pressure. We also do have some moving in from the south here, kind of south through the Four Corner states, some monsoon activity happening there, where they kind of converge, and then we're seeing a lot of that activity largely move over the Great Lakes and into eastern Canada, with these stretching cold fronts underneath that we've been talking about for a couple of days, leading towards overall quite a bit of thunderstorms through this pocket of the United States. To the south, we do have nearly as much precipitation, but a little bit of a different reasoning, a little bit of a different source to that precipitation. We do see a lot here for Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana here. But this is going to be mostly that high humidity, high temperature activity where we see a lot of isolated and scattered about thunderstorms really prevailing through this area. As we take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern, we see we are still dealing with really large amounts of heat here in the eastern states, some out west as well, but we've been dealing with this heat wave for quite a few days here in the eastern half of the nation. There is a cool down on the way though, and we see this by starting tomorrow on Wednesday, where we get this kind of cold dip across a lot of your northern plains, upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley here. Starting to get a lot cooler. Still some warmth prevailing up the East Coast, but that's going to come to an end in a hurry here. We can already see by Thursday, not a whole lot of reds, maybe some yellows still around for the coast and for the deeper south, but as we continue on, we see that cool down really prevails. That is until the weekend, as I mentioned earlier. Here is Saturday into Sunday, and we see a lot of warmth now hightailing it up the eastern states with another cool down on the way. Speaking of yesterday's video, a lot of what we talked about was these ups and downs in the temperature pattern, and you can already see that we had a big heat wave, a cool down, another warm up, and now another cool down on the way, and these big time flips in the temperature patterns oftentimes have a lot of thunderstorms and even severe weather on the boundaries of them, so the areas in between these air masses. In this specific example, that would be this pocket here in between the two air masses. A lot of activity in here. So when you see the frequent ups and downs of the temperatures, you expect to see more and more and more of these areas moving in. So that is the pattern that we are currently anticipating. And by Monday into Tuesday, that's July 1st and 2nd, we do get a nice little well-welcomed cool down, I'm sure, for a lot of areas here in the Four Corner states. Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic here, and in the Northeast as well. As we can see, though, another warm-up really builds in by even July 3rd into 4th here. So a hot one in the east, staying pretty hot from that point on. So really, as we move towards July 3rd and beyond, we really stick around with the yellows up towards even oranges or reds in here, which is going to be multiple degrees above what is average for this time of year. So keep that in mind. Some impactful heat is still going to be around by that time frame. Now, the Storm Prediction Center outlook here, this is going to be for today, from the time I'm making this video, Tuesday on June 25th here. As you can see, we do have in the lighter green areas, we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so be sure to heed every watch, warning, and advisory. In the darker greens here, we have a level 1 marginal risk of severe weather, so isolated severe weather is expected to be possible in there. And then for the yellow regions here, we do have a slight risk, which is a level 2, where we expect scattered about severe weather to occur today. Now for tomorrow, Wednesday on June 26th, what we see is a very large, almost the entire nation here in a general thunderstorm risk area. Again, isolated thunderstorms with the humidity and heat kind of just popping up all over the place. We have the two darker green areas where it's, again, a level 1 marginal risk. And then in your yellow for the Mid-Atlantic, we do have a level 2 slight risk. For day 3, finally here, we have two large general thunderstorm risk areas in the lighter greens. We have our marginal risk area there in the darker green, and then your level 2 slight risk expected there in the yellow for the day on Thursday, June 27th. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe as we do upload every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.